Magazine, and I am here with Lucy and Lily from Femme Mafia, who you are all here to watch.
Yes.
Yes, we are doing a live stream and the artists talk together with Ableton today. And yeah, I guess you are all familiar with Femme Mafia already. And if not, they are a female collective who are supporting women, trans and non-binary people who want to learn and practice electronic music production and DJing. And I'm also going to say that if you have any questions, we're going to do a short Q&A after. So you who watch the stream, just write it in the comment section. Also, I'm going to say that if you want to buy or get the magazine, it's a little hidden room just like in front of the box office. So go and get your magazine if you don't already have it. Do you want to say something?
Hello, I'm Lucy, DJ and producer, and part of Mafia, and I'm excited to be here tonight.
Hey, oh, this is loud. Hi, thanks for having us tonight. I'm Lilia. I started Femme Mafia in 2020, and yeah, super grateful to be here.
Great! So, in the interview that maybe some of you have read in the magazine or even online, you talk a lot about that it takes a lot of extra amount of work, but not only that, even luck and connections for women who are to go somewhere if you're a female DJ or producer or non-binary. And this is something that Femme Mafia is fighting to change. Can you tell us a little bit about what led you up to creating Femme Mafia and also what it has become today?
I guess it just started with a lot of anger and just the wish to learn how to DJ, but I didn't have any support system around me, or only men, so just no one to look up to, and it was just really difficult to seek like support and someone to teach me, and YouTube tutorials are also just dudes, so I was like, okay, let's create our own like support system, and that's kind of how it all started, on a lonely lockdown evening.
Yeah, and like, how's it going? Like, when did you?
2017? Yeah, it started in November 2020, and then the first mentoring program started in May last year, 2021. And yeah, since then it's just like a running mentoring program, so we have a few cycles already behind our backs, and we're basically teaching on a bi-weekly basis, thanks to all of our wonderful mentors.
Shout out!
Yeah, shout out to all of them. We're like 7, so I don't want to miss anyone. But yeah, so that's basically how it's going, and aside from that, we're also doing events and trying to support them, the mentees who are taking part in the program, into playing outside, doing a radio gig, doing all sorts of things, and yeah, just providing them some support and visibility.
Awesome! Yeah. And when did you start creating electronic music yourselves, and how has that journey looked like?
So basically, I started creating electronic music way after I started DJing, which was like 4 to 5 years after I initially started, which was a good journey for me personally, because that way I really got to know the music I was playing, and like basically I got to know the moods and the history and culture behind it, and already knew what kind of music I wanted to create because I was listening to it all the time. And yeah, when I was, I think, 20 or 21 or like 19, I'm not even sure, I got Ableton and just started to basically try out different things, and that's how the journey started. And going.
Yeah, it's known that women don't get as many bookings, but besides that, there's also a big pay gap. How or what do you believe it takes to change that?
Yeah, I think it's it's like a combination of a few things. Like a friend of mine, Sameheads, she talks about this as well. Is that we basically need to talk about money and make those structures visible, because no one is actually talking about money and how people in this scene, but like in general as well, are paid. And if we start talking about it and make it more visible, we can basically make those structures or those inequalities visible and can start to deconstruct and change them. And I think that's an important part of it. But also, of course, support from allies and especially, of course, cis men can definitely, need to act and can help us change those structures and things. So I think those two things are quite essential.
Like, you say that cis men can help and change this. Do you have any like concrete thoughts on how they can help changing that?
I think it's about firstly like reflecting on those issues or like privileges that cis men have in general, and then if cis men start to basically reflect on those privileges and see that there is actually an issue with that, then we can all basically come together and start changing it together, and with the support and like basically community, we can just support each other and try to make those basically make it more equal for everyone. And I think it's just also important to always talk about it and connect with each other and support each other in that.
And how does Femme-based Mafia create a playful and fun environment that supports or boosts confidence, but also that teaches those valuable lessons so that you do actually know your work, as that is something you otherwise have to, I don't know, you can't Google it, I guess. So how do you work with that?
I think it just arrived really naturally within the groups we had so far. So they just, like came together and suddenly had this support system of like-minded people who just wanted to do the same thing. And I think like everyone agreed also to replace, competition by cooperation, and that's kind of like, I don't know how it happened, but for some reason everyone is on the same page, and we just created a very, very wholesome space where everyone, like starts practicing together, or they start, seeing each other like outside of the practice sessions, which is also really cool to see, friendships starting of the program, and many just, that, and we also have principles for a safer space. So we're working from sort of documents that all of the mentors have to read and agree upon. So it's like no interruption and like trying to identify subtle mechanisms of domination that sometimes we experience as femmes. So we're trying to really like stop that and reflect on what we're saying, how we're talking, and there's also something else I want to say, but I don't remember.
And adding to that, like I agree, definitely. And adding to that, I think about just shared values of empathy and community, and also just sharing knowledge, not exactly teaching something, but just sharing from an like eye-to-eye level, like peer-to-peer learning. And I think those things create a sort of ambience or sort of atmosphere of like equality or like as Lilia said, like the safer space. And I think we're trying as best as we can to achieve that.
Yeah. And one of the first things that you come across as a new producer is Ableton Live, and opening up that can be very overwhelming, where it's like, it can look like a lot. Do you have any tip on how to get started and learn that? Or how did you guys start at it first?
So basically, I started out because a friend gave me access to this Ableton Live, and so I was able to just get started and try different things and just get to know the surface basically. And I think that's important for every skill you learn, is just having a lot of curiosity and just taking your time to get to know the tool you're working with. And I was just spending hours and hours with the program, just sampling stuff, trying to create some beats and using different synthesizers or just stuff that I had at hand at the time. And with time, I just started to get to know the program and really start to work with it. But there are also a lot of free resources out there, so you can watch YouTube tutorials. There are specific tutorials for if you exactly know what you want to learn, but also basic introductions as well. So
where can one find them?
Basically just Googling stuff Ableton Live 9, 10, 11, whichever version you're using, and then just saying basic tutorial or basic steps or first step tutorial or something like that. And that's also when I'm trying to learn something new that I don't know, that I just try to look for it on YouTube or Google and just try to get better in it basically.
Nice. And what's your best tip to someone who is curious of getting started, but is scared of putting themselves out there, yet that is a big dream they have?
I mean, it's difficult because I think it's a very human thing to be scared. We're just sharing something very personal or something that you might think you're not too good at that time. But I think you just have to go for it really. And what might help is not thinking about the things that can go wrong, or oh no, I'm embarrassing myself, or there are a lot of more people who are better than I am. I think it's important to just think about the things that you can basically gain from that, or that you can build, for example, community, find people who are interested in the same things that you're interested in, sharing music, and I think that's the thing that you can tell yourself to gain confidence, or the spirit of why you're doing it in the first place. And that's a tip I think I would give. And then just trying to go for it and putting yourself out there.
Push yourself, kind of.
Exactly, pushing yourself and trying to just embrace what is coming, embracing change, and embracing all the experiences you're going to make.
Yeah. Maybe just join a collective and find supporters. Look at me sliding that in there.
Exactly.
Such a seller. But have you yourself ever felt like quitting? Or just take a break?
I don't produce music.
Actually, yeah. I mean, loads of times, because the music industry or the music business is really quite tough. There are a lot of structures at work which are, discriminating or not really helping to achieve things. And I think for me personally, sometimes I'm really frustrated, or sometimes really, having difficulties with that, and sometimes reach my own boundaries in a sense. But what I try to tell myself when I'm feeling a little down or frustrated with this is that try to remember the reasons why I even started doing music or getting into the music industry, because I think those are way more powerful than every doubt that I have. It's like the passion for me. It sounds so cheesy, but it's just true. Like the love that I have for music and the people that I've met through making music or just even playing music. I think those things in the long run keep me going and make it more sustainable to me. And just being able to share that kind of love is something that drives me everywhere, I think.
Are there any people in here who are like ever felt like they wanted to start produce music themselves? Yeah, there are. Nice. So I thought like just maybe you can take us through the process because it is super intimidating, and I guess like I never been a male, but I guess it's even more so as a female because you feel very watched from outside, like, and very judged. So it would be nice to have some extra support, and if so, like applying to join from Mafia, how does the process and the graduation, like how does everything look? Can you take us through that process?
So it basically starts with an application process via Google Forms. And from there we ask a few questions, like see if the person already has practiced DJing, if they do have access to equipment, what kind of music they are into. So we do ask, playlists or sound selections just to get an idea, only because we're trying to, avoid a bit the traditional house and techno of Berlin. So to do that, we need to kind of, talk a little bit better, put a filter on it, and see who's actually into bass music. But we also did ask, why they want to be part of FBM, just to see what kind of reasoning there is behind it, and to see if they agree with the values that we all, share on our socials and platforms. So there's that process. Then once you've applied, we go through. Unfortunately, our third team member, Marie, is not here tonight, but so we're going through all of the application process, applications, the three of us, and we read everything. And we just, select the people we think would fit the best. And then we arrive to 6 people who we reach out to, and then we can start, the cycle together. So there's that, and then it's basically for 6 months they get a DJ course every 2 weeks, and so it's like various topics like radio and performance, or just just basic DJing, the journey through cables and everything technical. So they also, like if they're in the club and something is not working, they don't need a man to show them what they need to do. So it's a vast program with a few different courses, and also we have a few mental health check-ins where we try to get feedback and see, how the people are feeling in the program. There's also a course about, profile building as a DJ, more marketing side of things, because it's now like a big part of the industry, like social media. So we also try to talk about that and touch a bit upon like all those topics. So, and then eventually, after the 6 months, the mentees get ready, and we offer a few possibilities for them to show what they learn. So we have a few partnerships with Berlin-based media, so people can do a video stream in a famous bathroom, or they can have a radio show in some community radio in that room, or like we work with other collectives who can push the mentees and book them, and so we also have a graduation party, so it's like a club gig. First time everyone plays in the club, and it's super exciting. And, they just get an hour each and or working down the club basically. that's the process.
Awesome! And just to sneak it in, we actually have one of your graduates, or what do you say? Oh, they're, no, but also playing tonight, later, or two of them, in the same duo, Cartel, so make sure to stay for that. Well, everyone is. But yeah, so last, before we do the little Q&A, what's up next? Like, what's going on? What do you have this summer to look forward to?
Hot Girl Summer. We're gonna start the residency at RSL in Berlin. So we're gonna have bigger bass parties every 2 months, which is really cool because we get to book, people we look up to, people who are not necessarily playing in Berlin as well. So there's a lot of freedom in terms of lineup, which is really amazing. And then, of course, we're continuing on this Mafia, so there's an open call that's going to be launched next week. And we're planning on starting in May. So another 6 months of training. So yeah, that's what we're up to for now.
Awesome, and let's do a little Q&A. I received some questions from people who have been sending them through our Instagram account that we have open for some questions, but also from the YouTube. Yeah, we're receiving some questions from YouTube. So we have 4 questions that we've chosen. Yeah, first one is, do you have any mentors yourselves?
Basically, I wouldn't say like an official mentor, but for me especially, it's like basically everybody I'm friends with from like the music business side. Because for me, it's about exchanging ideas and exchanging when you're like frustrated or when you're having issues with something. And all of my friends who are connected with music or DJs, producers themselves have helped me like loads, just like growing and understanding myself and my role in the scene or in this whole construct. And that's what I would say, like basically all of my friends are mentors in that way. So yeah.
My main mentor is the MPN mentors, the ones who, we see each other giving mentees courses and workshops and things, and we have, the chance to be surrounded with so many talented people. It's insane. So yeah, all the people from the music industry that I've met, also through my daily job, which is also working with the jazz. Yeah, it's really inspiring to evolve in this program.
Cool. The next question is, do you have any influential person in your life? I guess that's what you answered a little bit, so maybe you could both mention like influential musicians. Is that good? Or maybe you understood this question different than I did. Anyway.
Go for it. Close it to the mic.
Influential musicians. I think I would basically answer this question kind of similar to the first one. I can mention my friend Sarah Farina again, for example. We've been producing music together a lot. Or everyone that I'm closely working with, music-wise, is an influential person to me because it's really interesting to see how you're working on your own, and then in comparison working with someone else, how your workflow changes or how your priorities change and how the flow changes when you're working with someone else. And basically all of the people that I've worked with up until this point have influenced me in a way. So I can't name a specific person, a specific figure, but I think everyone that has been in my life has influenced me to some degree.
I can shout out a few people. So we're gonna Lucy, Mary Midori, Jay Picklow, DJ Fuck Off, Money B, well, MSJY, MSJ, who else? Coca Cola, who's right here. And then we have Rowan, Alan, Young Pia, Katja, we have Mama Lior, we have Panyo, we have Formella, we have Catel, we have Nasra, we have DJ Heidi Paris, we have who else in the Abiba, we have LMX Handy. So that's my shout out.
Okay, do you need to be technically interested to start making electronic music?
I wouldn't say so, because I mean it definitely helps if you're having interest in like technical stuff, because I think then your access or your understanding of the frameworks is different, or like you might have learn it faster. But me personally, I'm not like gifted in that way, like not at all. And that it might take like a bit more work, but you definitely do not need to have like a specific interest in that if you're more interested in the creative output or like the sounds you're creating. Because I mean, Jimi Hendrix, for example, you couldn't even basically read notes. So and he just played the guitar and all the instruments by his hearing alone. And I don't think you need to have like a specific interest in that shouldn't limit you.
Perfect. Then even I could do it.
Yes.
Okay. Best and worst memories from when you were beginners. That's the last thing.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, have a little think.
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
So,
Okay, let's start with the bad news. The worst memory, I think when I started was, I'm sorry if he's watching or whatever, but my classmates at the time, who told me, oh, I thought you were way worse. When I just started like beat matching or whatever. And I will never forget that, because it was really dragging my anger towards now. So in the end it was positive. And best, I think like in the first few months, like when I managed to do like 1 hour without major mistakes, or I don't know, like the first, like booking requests where I was like, oh my god, like this is actually happening. Or just the first people you see when you start playing for the first time. It's sort of, has marked my mind.
I don't think I have like a specific bad memory or like a specific good one, but just in general, I think the frustration if you're really trying to learn and it's taking some time to really get the gist of beat matching and making transitions and like basically DJing on like the whole concept of it. So sometimes that was really frustrating, or sometimes negative comments from people who didn't understand why I wanted to play music. So that of course was kind of frustrating sometimes, but then again, like the positive side of it, getting like the first gigs or like receiving positive feedback or people being like, wow, you're playing, this is so cool, it's really interesting, and just receiving not praise in that way, but just people being interested in what I did, and that basically was in the beginning like the best feeling ever.
So nice, thank you so much. And this sums it up. But you can always follow them and their journey. And if you're interested, apply. Thank you so much. And in half an hour, the drag show is coming up.